Alrighty, so what we have here is the third installment from Hazardous Movement. This is their third scenario pack, and a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same, so let's take a look. On the back of it, they have a quick synopsis of the scenarios that they have. So it goes from Hazmo 21 to Hazmo 30. So each pack has 10 scenarios. The second pack was, the first pack, I'll say, was a mix of scenarios, all different styles, but the one thing that they had in common was they were huge, like 30 to 60 squads per scenario, just really big, 10 plus turns, and just an incredible pack, but you needed space and time to play them. So the second pack was all partisan warfare, and the third pack, this one, is all centered in and around Stalingrad. So if you see, we have Central Stalingrad, September, Central Stalingrad, September, Stalingrad, September, Red October Factory, which is in Stalingrad, October, October Factory, October, Red October Factory, November, Red October Factory, November, Kletskaya, November, so part of Operation Uranus, and then south of Vekny Kumsky, and that's also December 42, so that's part of Wintergewitter, which was the relief attempt on Stalingrad. And then January 26, 1943, so that was right after Operation, they say Saturn, but I think that was Operation Little Saturn, so I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And so that also was following the Stalingrad battle. So everything to do with Stalingrad. When you flip it over, there's I think these are the special rules, but they call them multi-applicable scenario parameters. And so just have that handy. Good. Now we get to what's inside the envelope. Alright, so Hazardous Movement puts their scenarios in this big, thick, stucco, nice envelope. And it's really pretty, easy to transport. I don't keep mine. I put mine into sheets and into a binder. But if you like keeping it in here, it looks very sturdy and it'll keep for a long time. Now, let's see what we have here. What they've added is now these can all be linked together into a form of a campaign game. I don't think it's a campaign game like the ones that we're used to, but I think it links all the scenarios together. So they talk about tactical Russian victory, strategic, decisive, and I think this is all based on how well you do in the individual scenarios. So gives you an idea right there. Then you have campaign achievement point chart, and these will be, I guess, the victory conditions for it. All right. And then the Russian ones, nice. And then the rules to remember. Alright, so these will be like more special rules, I guess. And then notes on strategy. I think they pretty much give you a quick strategy guide for each scenario. So we'll go through those. Everything looking good so far. Now this is on paper, it's not on the heavy duty card stock, but it's just notes, it's not scenario cards. So next we have the scenarios themselves. So scenario 21, I'm really glad to see that now they're using the actual artwork, so that's really good. And so you can see what kind of counters they are. You don't just read 6 to 8. 8-1. You actually see a picture of the little men, our little G.I. Joes. All right, and that's it. Something else you'll notice is a lot of these are 2-pagers, and this is nice, by the way, gloss paper. It's not quite cardstock, but it does feel thicker than standard paper, so it should last a long time. Most of these are 2-pagers, and the backs are not on the back of the same page, which is good. So you can lay out the back on both scenario pages on the table. So oops, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So we've got there's scenario 21, and that'll be 6 turns, small to moderate size, maybe 20 squads to 12 or 15 squads, something like that. I think I started this one. I started playing this one with Chuck Hammond, and we were having a blast. I don't know why we stopped. It's saved on Vassal somewhere, and we should get back to it because I was really enjoying. You get a chance to play him. He's a really nice guy and really worthy opponent, and we were having a good time. And I don't know what happened. I guess just life got in the way. So that's scenario 21. And then scenario 22, a lot of order here, I might have done that before, is a little bit bigger, and this is the Germans on the defense, and the Germans might not be on the defense. I'm really not quite sure, to be honest. And that's a 7-turn scenario, so a little bit bigger. And then scenario 23, and that will be very manageable, 10 squads. The Germans have 6 tanks and about 16 squads. One thing that I don't think they do here is, I know standard layout is to put the defender as the first group, so this might fool you for a second, but it's not hard to figure out. All right. So I was like, why do the defenders have more stuff than the attackers? But then I realized, and why do the attackers have the minefields and the roadblocks? But then I realized it's just upside down. All right, then scenario 24, we have more fun in Stalingrad. And then scenario 25, and this is the Red October factory itself. Oh, and this uses the Red October map. The last one uses the Valor of the Guards map. So if you don't have it, Valor of the Guards or Red October, but you do have a printer, you might be able to, well, I'm not going to tell you to print it out from Vassal, because I think that's a copyright issue unless it's not the actual maps, but it does make it playable. Alright, so there's 25, there's 26, 27, so there's a lot of Stugs, a lot of T-34s, a lot of anti-tank guns, a lot of fortifications. This is the stuff I really, really love. And then we have the Romanians. So if you happen to have Armies of Oblivion, here's a fun fact. I believe Armies of Oblivion was originally going to be called Road to Oblivion. And I think that's a better name, Road to Oblivion. But I might be wrong about that. I don't know where I heard that, why I remember that. But I think that's a pretty cool name, Road to Oblivion. Okay. So if you have Armies of Oblivion, there's a scenario there where you can use the Romanians. I believe those are Romanians. Yep, those are the Romanians. And then 29 and 30. Oh, the Italians. Oh, wonderful. So if you have Hollow Legions, and Hollow Legions was supposed to be called Legions to Oblivion. No, I'm just making that up. Okay, so you have Italians and Russians on the steppe. So that's pretty cool. All right. And then we have the credits, which is all the playtesters. Thank you, playtesters. And we have the designers, Chad Cummins and Chuck Hammond. And then that's the whole thing. Well, there you go. And that would be Hazardous Movement 3 in a handy dandy little portfolio. Thanks for watching.